unpacked suitcases and a backpack full of dreams. I fell because of the weight of the suitcase on an airport floor the day I landed in the United States. As if once wasn't enough, I fell twice. Are your parents in that suitcase? Did you bring stones in it? The thesis asked. This 5'2" girl with suitcases double her size. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. I was too excited for that fact that I was getting that opportunity to be independent, to be living the life that I wanted to live. No limitations, no guidance, just me. Ready to pursue a degree in journalism, my interest at the time. I felt free. Free for me meant to be able to think for myself, to be able to take my own decisions in life, and to own the troubles of getting the basic needs in life. But why did it have to be the United States of all the... Well, there are 3 specific reasons. Life back home was very optimal, comfortable. I was nothing less than a princess. My parents never let me worry about a single thing. Food, always on table. Education, paid for. Bills, what are those? Secondly, as soon as high school was done, it felt like everything was pre-chosen for me. It was either computer science, medical, engineering, accountant, none of which that I wanted to follow. And lastly, I had just always wanted to be here. I had seen, experienced almost all of my relatives come here for either education or work. Now, I had a simple aim to come here too. Finish my degree, get a good job, be happy, find my version of success, and make my family proud. But I was already on a non-authorized path, journalism. This was new for anyone in my family. All of my relatives were either business owners, engineers, doctors, software engineers. Art and media were just considered hobby, not something you could actually live off of. Now, my uncle is a great example of an IT major success. Graduated, steady income, great family, great home. But that was not a good enough reason for me to decide that this is what I'll pursue. Of course, it is a fact that, okay, the STEM majors or the business majors have a securing future or they are paid highly. And because of what people before me had already achieved, it was only natural for my family to expect that I would follow the same tested path because they had results. But this was going to be 4 years of my life investment. Financially, physically, mentally, and emotionally. As stubborn as I was, I said no. And I persisted to follow journalism. Now, I don't know if it was because the environment was new here or everything was fascinating and maybe I was sweating here, a little here and there, but I was losing that fire in journalism that I had when I first started. And my grades started to show that. Now I'm regretting the decision that I took, that stubbornness. I was regretting the fact that I did it, and maybe I should have just went into that IT or computer science or some of those degrees that people were guiding me towards. 1,000 things in my head. My hands are tremoring. My stomach's bloated, and I'm anxious because I knew I didn't want it to go into one of those majors, and I also didn't know what to do otherwise. It's different when you're actually interested, passionate about those majors, and you're entering into the investment willingly, because that drives the fire in you to do great things in life. But if you're choosing something because someone expects you to, because the income is high in that field, because that's what the family wants, or because of that perceived failure, then aren't you just a machine working to eventually get paid? For some reason, as a society, as an individual, as a parent, as a community, we assume that the pathway is structured for everyone. That one job, that one major, that certain income is the aim in life to follow towards. But what if that's not how it's supposed to be? What if our lives actually needed those exit ramps, those side roads, and scenic tours to help us learn who we really want to become before it's too late? You see, none of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. 6 years ago, while I was still in Nepal, I was coming back home from a friend's house on a moped, a scooter. At an unsupervised intersection, no police, no traffic lights, I stopped and yielded and continued my way when I saw a motorbike on my left stop for me. In a split second, I'm flying in the air, my helmet's still on my head, my glasses flew off, one of my slippers is gone, a face mask still wrapped around my face. I was on the floor. A bus behind that bike didn't stop. It hit me. Lying few feet away from the tire, I could see vaguely that the scooter's headlights were blinking under it. And in my head, I'm going, this is real. I'm not dreaming. My dad's never going to let me ride the scooter again. I was very, very lucky to be alive that day. If I follow something today, a path, a career, a major, a aim in life, just because someone told me to, someone expects me to go towards a future that I might have decades from now, who can guarantee that future will come, that I will get to enjoy the fruits of that labor or that efforts one day? I didn't want any regrets if I were to meet that tomorrow. So I tested the next thing my heart and my mind wanted to follow, a degree in studio arts. This second semester, I'm still following journalism, but I'm in a different university, and I meet a friend here who is in graphic design, and he's preparing for his portfolio review. Portfolio review is an interview where you meet with your professors to showcase your talent and commitment towards the program so that you can get into the major classes. At 1 a.m. in the morning, we went to a very dark and haunted-looking building to hang his artworks. As soon as I enter this building, the smell of charcoal, ceramics, wet paint, wood, and artworks on each floor, everybody was preparing for it. And to me, a child had found its playground. I wanted to be there. I wanted to do those things. And the next thing I know, I want to test those programs out, and I'm in taking one of those classes. Well, I liked what I saw, and so I changed my major to graphic design. But this smells like trouble. My family and relatives thought, why graphic design? Will you get a job? Will you get sponsorship? What is it that you do? So you're going to draw and sketch for the rest of your life. As a hobby, it's okay, but a career out of it? You see, I wasn't thinking in that perspective, though. I was in my own bubble where I thought if I'm passionate about it, and if I give my 100%, why won't I succeed? Having had a degree in studio arts and graphic design, I don't regret my decision to change major, to take a path that my heart and my mind wanted to follow. Although it was drawing and photography that got me interested in the program, I've come to learn that design is much more than that. It's creativity, it's innovation, it's problem solving, and it's user research and much more than what I can fit into a sentence. And it's not gonna be always sunshine. There's always rain before sunshine. I've had companies that turn their back towards me because I am an international at the end of the day, and that means more work for them to hire me, to keep me working in the future. But I've also had amazing opportunities where companies did saw my passion and went beyond to sponsor me to keep me working here. I'm working at a place where every one of the employees is encouraging, where I'm learning new things every day, growing as a person, all the while having fun. And that mind, that perspective comes from the fact that I'm doing something that I like, that I'm interested in, that excites me. Now, following a career or a major might seem like a very small thing that you can just get adjusted to in life. But the more you feel stuck, the more you feel frustrated, like you don't belong, you break down, physically and mentally. 300 million people worldwide is affected by depression, regardless of race, gender, age, economic status. 5 to 9 million of adult population is affected by generalized anxiety just in the US alone. But I'm not saying at all that these certain majors or these certain careers are the reason that you get depression or mental illness. But forcing someone to earn more, forcing someone towards a path that is much more prestigious than the other, just because of your perception, just because you think that way, forcing someone to actually just choose it because everyone else is doing it, has its consequences. But how do we take that ownership of creating the life experiences that we want, instead of chasing towards that expected life or that perfect life? Here are some things that I learned. Reject the should do's and the don't do's. Of course, we all have to be open-minded. There are going to be people who's going to come to you and say, you should do this, and you should do that, and maybe don't do this. And that's okay. You can take it in. But remember that that's their experience. And now you get to make your own. Embrace no regrets. Try a bunch of things and try until your heart and your mind knows what to do. Whether it's a career or a major or an aim in life. And of course, we can't deny the fact that we're going to fail. And maybe some lucky one won't, but most of us will. Because it will take 2 steps for someone, it will take 2,000 steps for someone, but that shouldn't discourage you to try out new things. Because that's only teaching you your capability and your strength. Last and the most important one, stop comparing. We are all unique. We all have our own journey and takes in life that only we can take. There is no point in comparing ourselves to another being. Free your mind and be the best of who you are. I know that anxiety, failing, exploring is just a step that we're all gonna take at some point of our life. But instead of choosing something that you think you should, I hope you give your unique, exceptional story a chance. I'm Jashmin Nakarmi, a tiny girl from Nepal, a graphic designer, and a life explorer. I've made mistakes, and I've failed, but I continue to keep going. Because I believe in living for today.